Hi, guys.
Oh, whoa, that was really loud. Hello.
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 Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
What are we talking about?
What you mean?
I forgot. I'm sorry. I remember now, though.
Welcome to Forward
Hello.
Faith Podcast.
Welcome
I haven't
back.
said that in a long time.
Should we say our names?
Sure, let's do our names again.
Okay.
David, okay, ready? Now you have a cue to put our names down here. Ready?
Ready?
Welcome to Forward Faith Podcast. My name is Felipe.
I'm Julianne.
Oh, we haven't said that in so long.
That was like the first episode.
Yeah.
Or like,
No, because I think we did our names first.
Oh,
that was in the
that was in the promo thing.
promo video.
Have we
Like
not
a
said our names
promo?
since the promo?
No, I think we said our names like once after that. I don't think we've ever said our names.
That's crazy.
I know David told me about it once. And I was like, do we need to say our names? And then I don't think I ever, I don't know what I said after that. But
Well, there you go. There are our names. I'm
my
Julianne.
name has not changed.
Mine
Felipe.
either. I'm the same.
F-E, okay? Not P-H.
Oh, yeah.
PH.
Apparently, a lot of people spell out PH.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's Felipe
Yeah.
with the F.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
You're
actually,
welcome.
I kind of need that.
Yeah. A little reassurance for you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Anyway, sorry. Welcome back.
So,
We have a new video
new
podcast
video, podcast
today.
episode. Wow, can you believe? Okay, before we get into usually 30, like over 30 episodes now.
I know.
That's insane. Stop. Over 30 episodes.
Over 30 episodes.
That is insane.
It's really crazy. We're over halfway to 50.
Yeah, we started in August of last year.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Aw.
Anyway, I know. Yeah, it's been 8, 9,
That's
10, 11,
crazy.
12. 1, 2, 3, 4. 9. Not 9. That's 8. 8 months since we started the
Ocho.
podcast. Whoa. That's commitment right there. Anyway.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, we have
Anyway.
over 30. But today, we're talking.
You always do that.
I know we talked about
Bracing
anxiety
yourself.
before.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I know we've talked about anxiety before, but today we're going to talk about doubt and doubting and what is doubt and how to deal with doubt. Oof, right? Yeah. So, first, we're going to start with the definition of doubt. And, we'll go from there. So, doubt, as a basic definition, is a feeling of uncertainty. And that can really be applied anywhere
Anything.
and with anything. So yeah. What is the whoa. That's what doubt is. So how does doubt Julianne, how does doubt
Oh my
look like
gosh,
in
I'm
your
so
life?
aggressive. Listen, I'm a very anxious person, and especially when it comes to my future.
Mhm.
And so I tend to doubt the decisions I'm making, and I overthink a lot. So like overthinking, I think, kind of partners with doubt for me, because I'll be like, I'll overthink about it, and then I'll doubt if I'm making the right decision. Or often, actually, which is normal, by the way, this is totally normal, I doubt God a lot and his
Oh, like yeah. Okay.
plan for me, because something that I was so sure was right and felt right
Yes.
comes to an end, and then I don't know what to do with myself, and I get very anxious and I doubt, which is so dumb, because like last episode we talked so much about God's plan for us and how like
But also it's normal.
it is totally normal to
If you
doubt.
didn't doubt God, then you're like a robot or something.
True, because we're
Honestly.
human and we don't understand God.
But
Most
we want to
of the time.
understand everything.
Yeah, but we want to understand everything. We want to see everything, but we can't. And so when something doesn't go our way, or something doesn't go the way that we
Yep.
thought, like, okay, for example, I'm just going to get right into it, I guess.
Get right into it.
For example, I know I've talked about this a couple times, but last year, I actually talked about this yesterday with my parents, which is kind of crazy.
Whoa. Oh, yeah,
but-
because of, yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But last year, okay, so my college journey, I applied to 5 different colleges last fall, and I got into all of them because I'm pretty much the best, but that's besides the point. Um, um, and I got into all of them. And then I sought God and I prayed a lot about it, and I felt very, very called to a specific place for a lot of different reasons that I don't really need to get into because I feel like I felt called to a place and I don't need to explain that. But it was it felt very much ordained by God. And we also talked about this last episode, but I have pretty good discernment. So I felt like I knew what was the plan for me, and I got into the college and I picked all my classes and picked my roommates and paid for everything. And then my parents called me downstairs one day and they told me that I couldn't go for a lot of different reasons. But that, I think, was probably one of the biggest times of my life where I doubted God the most, was because he told me, I was so positive that he told me this was something that he wanted me to do.
Yeah.
And then it just didn't work out. And then I was like, bro. Yeah, anyway. But yeah.
Okay.
What was your question?
It was, how does that look like?
Oh, how does it look like for you? Sorry. I went on a tangent.
Well, sorry. It
Also,
it depends.
Sorry, I feel like this should be said.
No, go ahead.
For some reason, in both mine and Felipe's lives right now, there's a lot going on, and we're experiencing a lot of doubts. This is perfect. I was just saying that. So it might be very hard. We might die, but just warning you. Anyway, so if we don't know what to say and we stop talking and sob, that's probably why.
Sob?
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
That would be wild. Not for me, but for you. I cry all the time.
Doubt, it's I don't, it just depends. I mean, there's certain things like emotionally, mentally, that for me personally, like, drag me. It feels like being dragged down, right? Because it's like you don't even know what's gonna happen next, yeah. And so, like, for like that kind of doubt, for me, it's more about continuing to practice to give it to God, and continue to practice to trust that God is going to take care of it, that God is going to guide me through whatever it is. There obviously, I also do have some sort of doubt with my future, just because in general, I mean, I feel like everybody has doubt about their future, really. But just like specifically, because I know I'm meant to, I know I'm meant to, I know I'm called to be here, and this is where I will be until God tells me to pick up my stuff and go somewhere else. But at the same time, there's like outside factors that are kind of like, well, how long am I gonna be here?
Mm-hmm.
How what does that look like for me? Like,
how are you, like, also I think something that at least I think about a lot is like, how are you gonna provide for me? Like, how am I gonna be fulfilled in, like, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, everything like that? Yeah. I doubt that a lot. I'm like, there's no way that I'm just gonna be happy, in all aspects of life.
Yeah, and that's the thing that that's one of the things that I do remember experiencing recently, with like my leaving my regular job and coming here, because in my mind, it was, I was leaving a really good, in my opinion, really good prominent career where I was heading towards a certain direction, and then I felt like God was calling me here, and I'm here now. And I don't regret it. I will say that for sure. I don't regret it, but I do remember those times, especially the first few weeks, where it was like I was taking like almost like a 60, like almost like a 50 to 60% pay cut. It was um like obviously I was joining ministry full time, and so that was also new to me. And then trying to understand myself when it came to actually working in ministry, because everybody knows, at least everybody who's worked in ministry knows, that when you make that jump from being a volunteer to working in ministry, there's a lot of work to be done. Because when you're just a volunteer, you know, it almost feels like there's no sense of responsibility to a certain extent. It almost feels like not replaceable, but almost kind of like, there's not a lot of weight with that. But when you do like full-time ministry and you like commit yourself to this, it's like a lot heavier in the way that I've experienced it. And so now viewing ministry differently, while still discovering my heart behind ministry, is 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 pretty much like what I'm uncertain with as well. I think there right now there's like there's really just a couple things where I'm like for sure certain about, or for sure certain that I want, or for sure certain that I want to do, or that I want to pursue. And I mean, there's still a sense of doubt with that as well, because then it's about bringing it up to God and being like, God, if this is part of your will, then make it happen. If it's not part of your will, then take it away, And sorry, it's let's read the Bible. What do you guys think? Right? Let's read the Bible. What do you think?
I agree.
I want to leave that one to the end. So
Okay.
let's read James 1,
sorry.
6 through 8.
My microphone's moving. Okay. James what?
James 1. I mean,
6
yeah,
through
James
8?
1, 6 through 8. Yeah.
Okay. But let him ask in faith with no doubting, for the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea that is driven and tossed by the wind. For that person must not suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways.
It's pretty intense.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's essentially what that's saying is focusing on the instability of being a wave crashing, right? Where because we can ask God so many times, so many different ways, but if we doubt him, or if we give it to him and then we take it back, then we're really not doing it correctly,
Yeah.
And then I think, at least the way that I understood this as well, is the instability part, meaning that it might not be like a, I don't know why I'm understanding it this way, but it's like a it might not be stable on the way there, on the way to the answer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
But it will be once you get there.
Yeah, I agree. I think, again, just want to put out there that doubting is very common. Everybody doubts, whether you doubt yourself, you doubt other people, you doubt God. Like, it's very normal, I think, just as like a human being. When you give it to God, it solves all of that. When you give your situation to God, it solves doubting yourself, doubting other people, and doubting God too, because when you give it to him, you don't have to worry about it anymore because it's his. He can take care of it. And it's so like freeing and like you're filled with so much peace. I recently, like literally like 4 days ago. Yeah, like 4 days ago, I have been very overwhelmed with a lot of decisions that have to be made and things that's happening in my life. And so but I was so freaking tired of trying to take care of it myself. And because I was doubting myself and I was very confused and it was just hurting me a lot to be worrying about it so much. So I sat down with God and I was like, I can't do it anymore. And like, I can't worry about this situation anymore and I can't worry about that situation anymore. And like, I just needed God like to take care of it. And I told him, I said, whatever is in your will, like I want it to be done. I don't want whatever is not, because that's just going to make me unhappy. And I don't want to be unhappy. And I literally, after doing that, I feel great. I feel really good the last couple of days because I don't have to worry about what this person's going to say or what that person's going to do or what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to chill out and wait for God to do whatever he's going to do. And it's amazing. And so, yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is amazing, that peace of God. Really. And some things are sometimes can be harder than other things. Like for me, going back to what I was talking about earlier, for me, that decision, yeah, it took me a bit, but as soon as I made it, I knew it was the right choice. And I had like the peace of God with me, and it was easy. It was easy for me to be like, all right, let's do this. Right. But now, sorry. Now when you bring in other different parts of my brain, then it can get really, I don't know why I said my brain. When you get different things, whoa, I have a lot of defense mechanisms. And because of that, I protect myself a lot. And so when I open that up to God or to anybody, it's a really heavy thing for me. And obviously it's still work in progress. Work in progress? Yeah. Still work in progress. And it's still like, I really truly am like trusting God and whatever's going on. But it's still hard, you know?
Well, yeah, because we have our human emotions still.
Yeah.
Whether we trust God with stuff or not.
Man,
Like,
forget those human emotions. They suck. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said that.
I interrupted what I was saying.
I'm sorry.
Now I'm really hurt. So
I apologize. Continue with what you were saying.
anyways, I don't remember.
That's my bad.
What did you say?
You said that human emotions are real, or that.
No, but what did you say?
I said, man, forget human emotions.
No.
They suck."
Before that.
Oh, I said that that when it comes to emotions, it's harder for me. And then I said, but I am trusting God that He's gonna take. And that's what I said.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna start talking and see if that
Okay.
helps. What did I say? What did I say?
You started saying that human emotions are real, and then
Yeah,
paused.
they are, because whether we give situations, sorry, whether we give situations to God or not, we still have feelings and we still have emotions, and those aren't
Yeah.
just gonna go away. So we can give stuff to God and we can trust Him, and it's still gonna be hard because you still have emotions. Like if you have feelings for someone and you don't know what to do about the situation and you give it to God, those feelings are just gonna go away, you know? And so it's still gonna be hard because you're gonna be like, man, I really like this person, but whatever. And then, you know?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
All right. That's all I have to say.
Okay, let's move on with the episode. Because we have two more things that we want to touch up on.
Two?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I know we talk way too much. I'm
That's
so sorry,
crazy.
everybody. Anyway, so the prime example of doubt, it's the famous story of Peter.
PETA.
Walking. Yeah.
Have you seen The Hunger Games?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
I love The Hunger Games.
Anyway, Peter walking on water, right? Does everybody know that story? Right.
Right.
Quick summary. The men are out in the boat and there's a storm. Woo! And Jesus is just like, I'm gonna just go walk to them. So then he's just walking. Obviously it's not exactly like this, but just walking to them. And then they're like, whoa, that's a ghost. And then he's like, nah, man, it's me, Jesus. And then Jesus is like, come on, Peter. And he gets on the water. And then he's focused on him, on Jesus. And then he starts looking around and he sees all the waves, sees all the waves, sees everything. And then he starts sinking. And then this is what happens after. Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of him, saying to him, "Oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt?"
Oof.
That's crazy. The reason why that's crazy is because, man, when Jesus is in front of you and you're doubting, that just reminds us that no matter how, because this is how I got it. No matter how visible God, or this case Jesus, how visible Jesus can be in front of you, you still have doubt.
Mm.
That makes me feel bad because it's like if Peter failed and Jesus was in front of him, I don't feel bad about Jesus not being in front of me and me failing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think there are a lot of things. Gotta readjust. Okay, I'm more comfortable now. There are a lot of things to think about in this story. I think the first thing that I think about is that Jesus called and Peter answered. That's the first thing. The second thing is that Jesus was still there and Peter was walking with Jesus, but he got distracted by what was going on around him rather than focusing his eyes on Jesus. And the minute he took his eyes off of Jesus and looked at the storm, that's when he started to sink. Then the third thing is that the minute Peter started to sink, Jesus was there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one more, I think. And then the fourth thing is that Jesus wasn't angry at Peter. He wasn't like,
bro,
you're no
I'm right
longer
here.
my disciple.
Get out. Whoa. Get out.
Anyway, he just asked him, like,
bro,
why didn't you?
Why are you tripping?
Yeah, like, what's up, bro? And I think when we apply this to our lives, when Jesus calls, we have to answer and we have to follow him wherever he takes us because that leads to a more fulfilling life. Secondly, is that no matter what's going on around us, if we keep our eyes on Jesus, we can be in the midst of a storm, but he will hold on to us and we won't get caught up in all that's going on. And then the next thing is that we probably will fall and sink because we're people, so
Mhm.
we make mistakes and we're not perfect, so we're definitely like totally definitely going to look away and fall.
Yeah.
But Jesus is going to be right there to catch us the minute that we do, because he loves us and he's not going to let us die. And then also just to remember that he's not going to be mad at us, and he's going to be like, hey, I was right there.
Mhm.
What the heck? Yeah, I love that story. I think you can study it a lot and get a lot out of
Yeah.
it. There are a lot of points and a
I-
lot of things.
It's funny because I can't remember, and I honestly I can't remember what was in there, but I saw it was somebody did a study just on this story, and I think it was like an hour and a half, and just
Yeah,
broke down like every
a lot.
single event that led up to this story and why it was so significant. It was insane. I gotta find it again, and I'll send it to you so you can watch it too.
Okay.
But um, but yeah, it's a great reminder of one, all the things that you said, um, and two, I think for some of us or many of us, right, we've sunk more than just once.
Yeah.
Right. We've been in and out a few times, but then when we fully focus on Jesus and we fully focus on what he provides, that stability that we were talking
Mhm.
about earlier from James. um he provides that stability. What?
Sorry, I just thought of something. Keep going.
Okay. He provides that stability for us. Go ahead.
I think another thing to think about is that Peter was like, Jesus called Peter into the storm. Because Peter was in the storm without Jesus in the boat. He was like, "Whoa, this is super weird and wild and
Yeah.
ah." Um, and he was afraid on the boat. But when Jesus called, Peter answered, and it was better. He was walking on top of the waves. He wasn't drowning, or the boat wasn't going like this anymore, because he was steady with Jesus while he was looking upon him.
Yeah.
So I think that can be a good example of like when we don't go to Jesus when life is hard, it can be very scary and we can be doubtful and anxious and all of the things I just said. But when we can look to Jesus and follow him and lean on him in the storm, um, all of the things will still be happening, but we can have peace and stability instead of rocking in the boat, you know?
Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, last question to talk
La,
about,
la, la.
because I want to end with Isaiah
Okay.
41:10. But before we end with that, um, how have you personally, whether now or before, how have you overcome a, a doubt? How have you overcome doubt?
Listen, I was talking to Felipe about this the other day yesterday, because I was writing a sermon, and the answer to like all of my points was like, spend time with Jesus. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
And I was having problems because I was like, I don't know how to have different points when they all lead to the same answer. But that's the answer. Like, I don't know how else to explain
Yeah.
it. And you can't really understand it until you experience it. But like,
Mhm.
when you rely on yourself and other people to give you peace and stability, it just leads to more doubt and confusion and anxiety. But when you lean on Jesus and you spend time with him and give it to him, it's still going to be hard, but it's not, but you have peace, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's still things that's going on around you, and it's still going to be chaotic, but you have this peace that you can't get anywhere else.
Mhm.
And that's the only answer I have. There's nothing else
Yeah.
I think you can do, because it's all going to fail. You just need to lean on Jesus and give it to him, and he'll take care of it. And
Yeah.
whatever happens, and you just have to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that. It sounds simple, but it can be hard to do.
especially depending on what you're giving to him
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but it really is that simple. Is just praying, reading your Bible, getting to know Jesus a little bit more, and trusting that He's going to take care of it. You know, it's yeah. I don't know what I was going to say. That's about it.
It's kind of the
All right. Well,
answer.
before we move on to our question, I just want to read Isaiah 41:10, which is a classic. And for those who don't know it, you once you hear it, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, that is a classic."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Um, hello.
Hi.
Oh, there it is. Hi. Okay, Isaiah 41:10 says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Yeah. Yep. I don't know what else to say. That's pretty straightforward to me. Like, despite of all the doubts and despite of all the things, it's just the peace of knowing that God has me in His right hand.
Listen.
You know,
Listen.
I'm listening.
Gotta listen.
Okay.
God like planned out your entire life. He knows everything that's gonna happen. He has plans for you, and He has a purpose for everything, and He creates purpose out of everything. And so, sorry, there's a fly, and it was really loud. Anyway, but we have to trust God because He's the creator of all things. He is the knower of all things, and He loves you more than anything and anyone ever could. And so we have to trust that no matter what happens, like He's going to hold on to you and He's going to take care of you. One, because He loves you, but also because that freaking fly is going to drive me
Fly
crazy.
is so loud. I heard it. I heard it right now. Did you hear it? Oh, you have your headphones on.
Bzz, 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 bzz.
It's like bzzz. Anyway, sorry.
Anyways, yeah, I lost my train of thought, but I think I said what I wanted to say.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, just cover your ears. It's fine. Yeah. So also, and this is a challenge for myself too. Like, either if I honestly like, just talk to God about it, and if you feel like you can't, and you feel like you don't know how. Like, I also challenge you to like reach out to your leaders, reach out to your pastors, reach out to your friends, and have people pray for you. Have
Yeah.
people pray with you.
Prayer is
Like,
very powerful. Whether you pray or someone else is praying, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
And never ever be afraid to ask someone to pray for you,
exactly.
or to pray with you, because when people love Jesus, they love Jesus and they want to help you grow with Jesus. And so
Exactly.
they're going to want to pray for you and help you grow. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Question.
Answer.
Julianne,
Sleep it.
if you weren't doing what you do now, what would you be doing instead?
I would be away at college somewhere. Far, far away. That's what I wanted to do forever, and I would be doing that. Yeah.
Okay.
What would you be doing?
Probably just traveling the world.
All right.
I've thought about, like, for a while, like, yeah, I don't know.
Where would you go?
No idea. It'd be just
All
like,
right. Sure.
just get a backpack and just go. See what happens.
All right.
That's probably what
You
I
don't
would
have
be
any
doing.
place you want to go to?
Well, there's places, but it's not like, oh, I need to go here. Like, you know, it's just kind of like,
Really?
like
You don't have like that one place that you have to go to before you die?
no. And I never really thought about it that way.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
crazy.
What's your place?
Just Europe.
Okay.
I think Italy's probably like the main one, or England, because I actually don't know if I could say that. It's just because I like the accents over there.
Oh yeah, the accents are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably what I would be doing.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Whoa. All right. Well,
All right.
hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Hope you guys learned a little something about doubt. You know, as a reminder, and how Julianne said earlier, we're here to talk about these topics, and sometimes we may be going through it at the same time, or sometimes we don't know, but that's kind of the beauty of it, you know, learning from people that are going through it, and for people who don't know either. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, David, I hope you caught the fly. It flew right in
It's been
front.
flying around,
Yeah.
and it makes me want to just
So,
crawl into
This
a
is
hole.
the spot where the fly flew in the front, so you can probably zoom into it. or something.
Why?
I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know. It'd be
I'm
kind of
sorry.
cool, but I don't think you'll be able to do that. Anyway, forget what I'm saying.
I'm really hungry.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not. I'm sorry. Okay. We'll see you on the next one.
In
Have
a week.
A great day.
Goodbye. Goodbye.